going to start off with the answer to this one, retired. I mean, I have my fingers on the poker community in so many different ways, like kind of feeling out the pulse. I run a poker business. I'm trying to help my students. I'm trying to see where the game is at, particularly in live poker. I have no pulse for online poker, but live poker. And one of the interesting things is, I'm seeing, we try to see why certain people succeed and why they don't. So not only am I interested in poker, but I'm interested in like the science behind behavioral change and how you actually move a person from one point to another. It's why are some players successful and why some aren't. It's not just work ethic. It's not just hard work. There's a lot of variables that go into that. So I've been saying like, all right, like who is making the biggest jumps in game? Whose thought process is getting more complicated and more in-depth and more exploitive, more different? And the answer is, a large percentage of the time, or at least something anecdotally that I'm noticing, is retired people. And this is the thing, like I really thought about it, and retired people are the new wizards of poker, I think, at least of like 1, 2, and 2-5 poker. And for those of you who don't know, like wizards used to mean when you like an online poker player is like really good. You'd be like, oh, guy's a wizard. What guy's a wizard? That girl's a wizard. It means like this really good poker player. So it's like wizard, get it? They're older. I'm trying to make a joke. Anyways, what I've been noticing is that there's a couple of variables that make them successful. First, they tend to not have the bullshit that younger players have. Younger players just make so many damn excuses and have so many, they just they haven't gone through life and they haven't had those habitual things that make you successful in poker really be solidified. So they still don't know themselves. They still don't know what they want. One week they want to be a professional cash game player. The next week it's tournaments. Next week they're all over the place in terms of how they approach it. With older clientele, you just get a very straightforward answer like, Blake, I want to make an extra $800 a week playing this amount of hours. This is my bankroll. They just seem to have less of that emotional component to them. Second, they have a ton of time. Being retired, they can dedicate towards things. They've kind of usually dabbled in poker for a certain percentage of the time, right? So they've been involved with the game at some point, maybe played the past 20, 15 years, but they never taken it really seriously. And now once they retire, they're like, all right, I'm really gonna take poker seriously. Third is the financial situation is ideal. So usually, for at least my clients, they have a stable amount of money coming in with a pension fund or Social Security or whatever it is, and then they have had money saved aside, and they're in a great financial position for poker because they can learn the game, play a style that they can slightly increase their role, and it's nice to have multiple sources of income instead of being like 18 or 19 or even 21 or 22 and not knowing what you're doing and trying to take a go at poker. Like they kind of have that cushion already. And I've just seen like an incredible work ethic and an incredible passion for the game in the students over like 55. It's been very interesting. It's something I wasn't expecting. I think as a younger poker player, a lot of young guys and girls have this perception that if a guy is over 55 or 65, they're going to be tight and solid rocks and they're not going to do that much. But some of my students will definitely screw you up at the table if you think that that's their image. I mean, for the most part, they're dedicating a lot of the time to the game. They have the resources. They have that time. They have that work ethic. And it's just an easier client to deal with. I feel like when you're dealing with younger kids, you just deal with so much stuff. Like, oh, they don't know what they want. And you can't just, when you're coaching poker, you can't always just coach the game. You got to coach the variables surrounding the game. So it's like, yeah, you can teach somebody the right line, but that might not be the right line for them at this specific time in their life or so on and so forth. Like you need to approach it from a holistic perspective. And I just feel like it's so much easier with people over the age of like 55 or 60 or whatever the number is, because you don't have to deal with that shit. It's just very straightforward. It's very like, this is how you play, this is what I want you to do. And they just listen and they follow through and they get the results. So yeah, look out for those, the older population. Just something that I found so interesting, because it used to be the young people that had all the energy and so on and so forth. But also one last thing I do notice about older populations, they tend to have some sort of like limit. So like, Blake, I want to make $1,000 a week, or I want to make $600 a week, or I want to, it's not like I want to play the highest cash games in the world, and I want to travel and play the World Series, and I want to do this and that. It's just very realistic, very straightforward goals that I think are very attainable in live poker. Like making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, you know, a little bit more hard. Making a solid $50,000 or $60,000 a year when you have an extra 70 hours of time per week is way more realistic. So that being said, if you're an older poker player, I think playing poker after retirement is an amazing thing. Way to carve out an extra side income. It makes sense that you'd want to get good in that, and look out for that 50, 60-year-old woman at the table. It might get messed up, young guns. Think that, oh, they don't understand what a 3-bet is and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, they're like balancing perfectly, and they're putting you on a deadly range of hands, and they have the level of focus and attention to rip you apart. Be careful.